unstoppable.
Breaker High, back-to-back with Sweet Valley High.
Weekdays starting at 4.
Let me set the scene. It's early morning. Not I woke up motivated to seize the day early. No, this is why am I conscious right now early. You're in middle school, possibly half-dressed, definitely half awake, and the TV is on because silence feels illegal at that hour. You don't have cable, so your entertainment options are limited, questionable, occasionally bizarre. And then, like a weird pastel-colored mirage, you stumble onto Breaker High, a show about high school students who go to school on a cruise ship, because of course they do. Now, even as a kid, you kind of understand this is nonsense. Not in a cynical way, more like, this is clearly not how education works, but I will allow it, because what Breaker High offers isn't reality, it's fantasy. Not the dragons and magic kind, but something arguably more powerful. The fantasy of a high school experience that doesn't suck. No locker slammed in your face, no awkward cafeteria politics, no being stuck in the same building every single day. Instead, you're traveling the world. Your classroom has an ocean view. Your field trips are entire countries. It's basically Semester at Sea, teen edition. And for a kid stuck watching grainy pre-HD broadcast TV, what was probably pushing 720p on a good day, this felt huge. The resolution might have been questionable, but the vibes, immaculate. Even then, you could tell this wasn't a prestige show. It wasn't trying to be. It had that unmistakable late 90s look, soft lighting, pastel wardrobes, and a cast that felt like they walked straight out of a catalog labeled Youth Demographic, Broad. But it didn't matter, because at that hour, in that moment, Breaker High wasn't just a show, it was an escape hatch. Welcome to Nostalgic Couch Potato, the place where we dust off the shows you forgot you loved and overanalyze them just enough to ruin them, but like in a fun way. If you grew up on weird syndicated TV, questionable reception, and entire blocks of shows that felt like a fever dream, you're in the right place. So go ahead, get comfortable, grab whatever snack feels appropriately nostalgic, and let's get into it. And hey, if you enjoy the trip down memory lane, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around. There's plenty more where this came from. The UPN effect and the Sweet Valley pipeline. Now, depending on where you lived, Breaker High had this interesting second life. Because once I moved to Ohio, suddenly the show wasn't just a weird early morning discovery, it became part of a block. And that block had a very specific energy. We're talking Sweet Valley High, and if you know, you know. These shows together created what I can only describe as a completely unhinged, hyper-idealized vision of teenage life. Everyone is attractive, everyone is socially functional, problems exist, but only in ways that can be resolved in 22 minutes with a light moral lesson and maybe a hug. And UPN, bless its chaotic programming heart, just served this up like it was normal. After school, you'd turn on the TV and get hit with this double feature of here's what high school is like if reality took a vacation. And the aesthetic? Oh, it was strong. Pastels, soft focus, that very specific late 90s color palette that made everything look like it was dipped in peach yogurt. It's the kind of visual style that makes you nostalgic even if you didn't live through it. And Breaker High fit perfectly into that ecosystem. You had your archetypes, the cool guy, the smart one, the quirky one, the I'm definitely going to cause problems but in a lovable way one. It's formulaic, completely, but it's also comfortable. Because the show isn't trying to challenge you, it's trying to invite you in. It's saying, hey, what if school wasn't something you survived, but something you enjoyed? And paired with Sweet Valley High, it basically said, also, what if everyone looked like they belonged on a magazine cover while doing it? No notes, just vibes. The Japan episode and the power of repetition. Every show has that episode. The one that sticks, the one that plays over and over until it basically fuses with your memory. For Breaker High, for me, it was Japan. Now, maybe it aired more often, that's entirely possible. Syndication has a way of turning certain episodes into core memories whether you asked for it or not. But also, it hit a very specific nerve. Because when you're into martial arts, even casually, Japan isn't just a location, it's mythic. It's discipline, culture, history, all wrapped up in something that feels just slightly out of reach. So watching a bunch of high school students casually roll into Japan as part of their school curriculum, yeah, that stings a little. Not in a bitter way, more like, wow, I didn't even get a decent field trip and these kids are out here living my dream. And that's kind of the magic of Breaker High. It takes these real-world locations, places people spend years dreaming about visiting, and just casually integrates them into teenage life like it's no big deal. Oh yeah, today's lesson is Japan. Cool, sure, why not? And even if the show didn't go deep into cultural exploration, let's be honest, it wasn't that kind of show. It still gave you exposure. It planted ideas. It made the world feel bigger. And for a kid watching on a slightly fuzzy TV screen, that mattered. Because suddenly, your imagination had somewhere to go. Why Breaker High still works, even if it shouldn't. Looking back, Breaker High is objectively ridiculous. The premise doesn't hold up under scrutiny, the characters are broad, the conflicts are simple. The whole thing exists in this slightly glossy, artificial bubble where nothing ever gets too real. And yet, it works. Because everyone involved seems like they're having a genuinely good time. And that's something you can't fake. There's an energy to the show, a kind of lightness that makes it easy to watch. It's not trying to be edgy or groundbreaking. It's not chasing relevance. It's just existing in its own lane. And sometimes that's exactly what you need, especially when you compare it to actual high school experiences, which are often less cruise ship adventure and more existential confusion with fluorescent lighting. Breaker High offers an alternative. What if? What if school was exciting? What if your environment changed constantly? What if learning was tied to exploration instead of repetition? It's not realistic, but it is aspirational. And maybe that's why it sticks. Because even now, there's a part of you that looks back and thinks, man, I would have signed up for that in a heartbeat. Even if the TV quality was questionable, even if the writing was predictable, even if the entire premise makes absolutely no sense, you still would have gone. No hesitation. The wait, that's them effect? Here's the thing about Breaker High that doesn't really hit you until years later. This show is weirdly stacked. Not in the prestige ensemble drama sense, more like the you're casually watching and then 10 years later you go, hold on a second kind of way. Let's start with the obvious one. Ryan Gosling. Yes, that Ryan Gosling. Before The Notebook, before Drive, before he was out here being the internet's favorite emotionally complicated man, he was just a guy on a cruise ship high school. And honestly, he fits right in. There's something kind of surreal about seeing someone who would go on to have that level of career just hanging out in this pastel teen universe. It's like watching the origin story of someone who doesn't know they're about to become a major Hollywood presence. Also, yes, he's married to Eva Mendes, which somehow makes this whole thing feel even more like a how did we get here situation. But he's not the only one. One of the more interesting pipelines out of Breaker High leads straight into Girlfriends, a show that tonally could not be more different. Where Breaker High is light, breezy, and occasionally absurd, Girlfriends is sharper, more grounded, and very much rooted in adult relationships and real-world dynamics. Actors like Persia White and Jill Marie Jones would go on to be part of that world, which is kind of fascinating when you think about it. It's like watching people graduate not just from a fictional high school, but from an entire genre of television. And then there's the production side of things. Breaker High being tied to Saban Entertainment makes a weird amount of sense once you know it. This is the same company that brought you Power Rangers, which explains that slightly heightened, not quite reality tone the show has. Saban had a knack for creating shows that felt just a little bit removed from real life, not fully fantastical, but definitely operating on their own wavelength. And Breaker High fits right into that. As for the rest of the cast, a lot of them followed that very specific late 90s, early 2000s TV trajectory. Guest spots, recurring roles, the occasional, oh hey, that's that person moment in something you weren't expecting. Which honestly feels appropriate, because Breaker High itself exists in that same space. Not a massive cultural juggernaut, but not forgotten either. It's one of those shows that lives in the background of people's memories, quietly connecting to bigger things. And that's kind of what makes this fun, because it turns a show into a time capsule, not just of a weird high school fantasy, but of careers before they became what we recognize now. It's like looking at a yearbook, except one of your classmates turns out to be Ryan Gosling. And suddenly, that cruise ship doesn't seem so random after all. So yeah, Breaker High. A weird little time capsule of late 90s television, a morning ritual, an after-school companion, a pastel-colored fever dream of what high school could have been if reality just loosened up a bit. It may not be the most groundbreaking show ever made, but it didn't need to be. Sometimes all a show has to do is make you wish you were there. And honestly, mission accomplished.